Good morning, dear students. Today is the second class for 8th class English 2. Last class, our discussion was about interrogative pronouns and adjectives. In the last class, we discussed that pronouns have been used in different ways. Such as pronouns are used as a subject, object, as well as possessives. So far as interrogative pronouns are concerned, they are who, what, and which. This who, what, and which interrogative pronouns, we have used them as a subject. But last class also I have told you that how these interrogative pronouns are used as simply pronouns, that means interrogative pronouns, as well as interrogative adjectives. Examples I have given you. But I will make you remember that as far as who is concerned, will never be used as interrogative adjective. It can only be used as an interrogative pronoun to ask about a person, because who, whom, whose are completely for persons. They are asking about a person. So similarly, what and which we use for things, and which is also used for things and persons to some cases, but particularly they are used for things. We can never use this interrogative adjective. We can never use this. Who can never be used as interrogative adjective, but what and which can be used both interrogative pronouns as well as interrogative adjectives. What we have discussed in the last class, the examples I have given, again to remind you the previous class, let me write one example for your understanding. You see, what is your name? What is your name? Here is a question. So here, what is used to ask about the name means a thing. That means not a person. So here we have used is as the verb. So after this interrogative pronoun, we have used a verb. So it is simply an interrogative pronoun. Similarly, if we write what color do you like? Here you see, after this interrogative pronoun, here is a color which is a noun. Therefore, here this what is functioning as a qualifier of this color, which is a noun. Therefore, here it is working as an interrogative, it is an adjective, so it is interrogative adjective. Understood? So here we understood last class how these who, what, which are used as interrogative pronouns as well as interrogative adjectives. But I have told you that who can never be used as interrogative adjective. It is always used as interrogative pronouns. Therefore, let's discuss the next topic of the use of these interrogative pronouns and adjectives as an object. Okay? So, let's see what happens. Now, we will discuss how these interrogative pronouns are used as objects. That means it is asking question about an object. Okay? So, here, let's say, what happens? The object of who is who. Here we can use to ask about the person as its object. Whom did you ask the answer? Whom did you ask the answer? That means here whom is used means to whom you asked the answer. Here we are asking about I asked the answer to my teacher. So teacher is an object. So for that, who is that object? We are using this whom to ask about the object in our sentences. But you see, this is functioning as a pronoun. It can never become an adjective. It is often used as a pronoun. But this using whom at the beginning of the sentence is never used in spoken English. It is used in a very formal English, very rarely we use it. But it will be good if we use who. Here, in this whom is particularly used in formal English very rarely, but never used, as I told you, in spoken English. But we should use who in place of who. How it is? Who did you ask the answer? We can write like this. Instead of using whom, we can write who for this. The examples we will be discussing later on. Now, sometimes what happens, suppose here is a question, to whom will you give this book? Here, to whom? I will give this book to my friend. That means my friend is the object. We are asking about the object. Here, you see, here is a preposition used before whom. But our duty is that though this whom is very rarely used, not in spoken English, very formal English, we are using whom at the beginning. But here, when we are making a question over here, this to whom, if we are using preposition at the beginning, it is difficult to understand. Therefore, we can take this preposition to the end of the sentences by converting this into who. Example I am giving you. Here we can write who will you give this book to? See, instead of using to at the beginning, we used who and the preposition went to the end of the sentences. Similarly, we have many such examples I will give you right now, later. Now, let's understand how we use them through these examples. Here you see, we have written whom did she marry? Though we have understood that whom at the beginning should not be used, it is used only for formal English, but in general use, we never use whom as a subject. Whom at the beginning. So we can write here who, in place of whom we can write who did she marry? Whom did she marry? Instead of writing whom did she marry, we can write who did she marry. Similarly, here you see another sentence, whom will you invite? Here you see in these sentences, both the sentences where the sentences start with whom, no prepositions have been used. Only whom is used. Here also we can use who. Who will you invite? Who will you invite? Because instead of whom we are using who. But here in this example you can see it is starting with a word of. So in this case, when our whom is preceded by of, then we can take this preposition from here to the end of the sentence. We can write like this, who are you speaking to question mark. You see, who are you speaking to? Speaking of. Instead of this preposition used at the beginning, we have used this preposition at the end of the sentences because we have used who over here. Similarly, here you see another example is given. By whom was the book written? Here we have to use this whom, change this whom to who. So what do we take? We will take this preposition from here to the end of the sentence before the question mark. Let's write this example. Here is the who was the book written by and question mark. You see, we have taken by the preposition to the end of the sentences and the sentences started with who instead of using who. Okay, and let's do some examples so that it will be helpful for your examination. Let's discuss them. From the previous discussion, we understood that a preposition before the whom can be converted by using who at the beginning and preposition at the end of the sentences before the question mark. So now what we will do, here you see there are several sentences written with using who, but now we will convert this who into this whom's into who. Now see, here what we will write, we will take this preposition to the end of the sentence. How it will be? Here, who were you talking to? Here we have taken the preposition to the end of the sentences, but started with who instead of using whom. Similarly, here is a sentence. You see again this is whom is starting with of, the preposition. What we will do? We can also do this. Who are you speaking of? Now, this preposition went to the end of the sentence and our sentence, the interrogative pronoun started with who instead of who. Similarly, here is another example I am telling you. Here, see this sentence starts with whom but doesn't have any preposition. So, we don't need to transmit this preposition to the end of the sentence. We simply start this by using who. Okay, here, who did you find there? Who did you find there? Though it does not have any preposition, therefore we need not to transfer any preposition to the end of the sentence to use who. Similarly, another example you see, here whom is followed by this to. So what we will do? Take this to the end of the sentence with starting whom at the beginning. So now see, who did you send to the market to? Here is the question mark. You see, we started the sentence using who and ended with the preposition to before the question mark, and this is who did you send to the market to. Now here you see another example is given, whom is preceded by this with. So similarly we can do, who was your father angry with? So here this preposition was taken to the end of the sentence before the question mark, and the sentence is started with who, which is functioning as an interrogative pronoun. Okay, so now let's discuss some other examples like such. Please. Okay, from the previous discussion we understood how we can are used at the end of the sentence before the question mark. Now, sometimes you will encounter with these questions like write questions to the underlined words. Here you see we have so many underlined words available here, and all those underlined words are at the place of objects. But here the subjects like my, I, she, they, and the policeman, they are the subjects. But now our discussion is about the object. Therefore, how can we make questions? How can we will have interrogative pronouns using these what do you see, the objects? You see, normally when we will convert this, what will happen? With whom my wife was angry, and with whom my wife was angry. But here, in accordance to the previous rule, as we know that whom is very rarely used, not used in spoken English, but used in very formal English. Therefore, what we should do? We will, instead of using with whom, we can write who was my wife angry with, and question mark. You see, we have used who was my wife angry with. Similarly, here you see him is the object, we are asking about him, and before that there is a preposition at him. So normally we will convert this is what? At whom I am looking. This is the question. Normally we have made this question, but what, in accordance to the rule, we cannot use like whom like this. Okay, so what we will write? Who am I looking at? Who am I looking at? We have to convert like this, because here at him means at whom. Instead of writing at whom at the beginning, we should start our sentence by using who and the preposition at the end of the sentence before the question mark. Similarly, she wants to speak to you. To whom? To whom she wants to speak? To whom she? To whom she? To whom does she? To whom does she speak? To whom does she speak? So here what happens? Here is again to whom, because to you is there. What we will do? Instead of using to whom, we can use who does she speak to, and the question mark. Similarly, let's understand the next rule. Next example. They are staying with their uncle. With whom they are staying? This is the question. Normally, what will happen? With whom are they staying? With whom are they staying? Normally, this is with whom are they staying? Though we have converted that. Now, what will happen? Instead of using whom, we can use who. What we will do? With will be going to the end of the sentence. Here you see. Who are they staying with? Who are they staying with? This is what the example. Now another example, let us see. The policeman was looking for a thief. For whom was the policeman looking? Here normally what happens? For whom? For the thief. That means for whom was the policeman looking? Normally this is the question. But what happens? So we will not use whom, we will use who. How it will be? Here it will be who was the policeman looking for, will be the correct answer. So we understood right now. We converted these sentences into interrogative sentences with an interrogative pronoun at the beginning of the sentence. We understood how it is whom is used as an object, but whom is not normally used as an object in spoken English or general English. It is whom can only be used in very formal English at the beginning of the sentence. But here, instead of using whom at the beginning of the sentence, which is meant for to ask questions about an object, we have used who in place of whom, and the prepositions transmitted to the end of the sentence before the question mark. So this is how, here you see, we are writing questions to ask about the objects. So here, instead of using whom at the beginning, we have used who at the beginning as an interrogative pronoun, and when it is preceded with preposition, we use who, and the preposition is transferred to the end of the sentence before the question mark. So this is the questions, the underlined sentences were converted into questions. So today we understood how we have used whom to ask about an object. Okay, so whom is used for an object, whom is used to ask about an object, but we cannot use whom at the beginning of the sentence. It is very rarely used. Instead of whom, we can use who, and if any prepositions follow that, then the preposition should be transmitted to the end of the sentence. Like, my wife was angry with me. The question is about me. With whom was my wife angry? So that who was my wife angry with? Instead of with whom was my wife angry, we have written who was my wife angry with. So with this video, I will send you the exercises for you to do, and you will do all those exercises in a notebook and understand how you will convert whom into who, and how you have used the interrogative pronouns as a pronoun as well as adjective, as a subject. Today we discussed how we use interrogative pronouns as an object, but in next class we will understand how these interrogative pronouns used as possessives. Okay, thank you. See you.